Remember, when trucks weren't just cookie-cutter haulers, but rolling works of art that turned heads on Main Street? When your neighbor's pickup looked nothing like yours, and every trip to the hardware store was a chance to see something absolutely wild on wheels? We are about to take you back to an era when American truck designers were apparently asking themselves, why not build it that way? Why not try something bold, strange, or completely unexpected? These are the Mavericks, the oddities, the trucks that made you do a double take at the stoplight. The ones that your dad or granddad either loved or scratched their head at, but never forgot. Before we fire up these legendary haulers, hit that subscribe button. If you love classic iron as much as we do, you will want to stick around for more forgotten automotive gold. Trust me, you will not believe number 7. Truck 1, Studebaker Coupe Express. Let's kick things off with a truck that looked like it could not decide whether it wanted to be a gentleman's coupe or a working man's pickup. The Studebaker Coupe Express from 1937 to 1939. Picture this. You're cruising down the boulevard in what appears to be a sleek two-door coupe. People are admiring the swooping Art Deco lines, the stylish grille, the elegant proportions. Then you walk around back and, wait, is that a truck bed? Studebaker took their Dictator and Commander coupes and literally chopped off the trunk, replacing it with a stubby pickup box. The result? Automotive schizophrenia at its finest. The cab could seat 3 people in relative comfort, and you could haul your groceries or tools in the back, assuming you did not need to carry anything longer than a yardstick. With only about 2,900 ever built, seeing one today is like spotting a unicorn at a car show. These were not just quirky, they were Studebaker's attempt to give farmers and small businessmen something with a bit more class than a standard pickup. You could take your best girl to the dance on Saturday and haul feed on Monday, though probably not in the same outfit. Truck 2, Dodge Airflow Tank Truck. If the Studebaker was confused about its identity, the Dodge Airflow Tank Truck from 1938 to 1939 knew exactly what it was. A rolling science fiction movie prop that somehow ended up delivering gasoline and milk. Built on Dodge's infamous AR Flow chassis, a car so ahead of its time that buyers ran away from it, these tanker trucks looked like something Flash Gordon would drive. The waterfall grille, the streamlined Art Deco body, the rounded curves. This was not a truck. It was a statement about the future. Major oil companies loved them. Texaco, Shell, and others used these gleaming chrome beauties to deliver fuel, making even a mundane gasoline delivery look like a special event. Some were converted into milk trucks, because apparently even dairy needed to look aerodynamic in the 1930s. If your grandfather worked at a gas station in the late 1930s, he might remember these streamlined stunners rolling up to make deliveries, looking like they had just landed from another planet. You know Hudson for making cars, specifically the legendary step-down sedan that dominated NASCAR in the early 1950s. But did you know Hudson also dipped their toes into the truck business? Say hello to the Hudson Big Boy pickup from 1946 to 1947. Here is where it gets weird. Hudson did not actually build these trucks. They partnered with Driggs Manufacturing to convert Hudson car chassis into pickups. It was like automotive surgery. Take a Hudson Super 6, remove everything behind the doors, graft on a pickup bed, and voila, you have a Hudson truck. Only about 3,000 Big Boys were ever made, and they were distinctive. The front end was pure Hudson automobile, smooth and rounded, almost feminine. Then suddenly, bam, a truck bed. The proportions were just odd enough to make people stare. These were marketed to small business owners and farmers who wanted something different from Ford or Chevy. Loving these automotive oddballs? Do not forget to subscribe and ring that bell. We have 7 more legendary trucks coming your way, and some of them are even stranger than what you have already seen. In 1961, Chevrolet looked at their controversial rear-engine Corvair and thought that it needed a truck version. And not just any truck version, one with a fold-down ramp built into the side. The Corvair Rampside was gloriously impractical and utterly brilliant at the same time. That fold-down ramp from the passenger side of the bed let you wheel motorcycles, lawnmowers, or appliances straight into the truck without lifting them over the tailgate. Revolutionary? Absolutely. Practical for most truck buyers? Not really. With the engine in the rear, the Rampside had a completely flat-load floor and excellent weight distribution. It handled surprisingly well and had decent traction in snow. But try explaining to a traditional truck buyer in 1961 why the engine was in the back and why part of the truck bed could only be accessed through a side ramp. About 18,000 Rampsides were built during its 5-year run, and despite that relatively modest production number, most people have never seen one in person. If you were a teenager in the 60s and your buddy's dad had one of these, you definitely remember it. They were the truck that made sense on paper, but confused everyone in the parking lot. Truck 5, Diamond T 201 pickup. While Ford and Chevy were cranking out pedestrian pickups by the thousands, Diamond T was building trucks that looked like they ate other trucks for breakfast. From 1947 to 1949, the Diamond T201 pickup was not just a truck, it was an architectural statement. That massive chrome-laden grille stood about 4 feet tall and looked like it could double as a building facade. The hood stretched out in front of you like the deck of an aircraft carrier. The cab sat high and proud, giving you a view that made you feel like the king of the highway. The 201 was overbuilt, overweight, and absolutely over the top in the styling department. These were not cheap, and they were not common. Diamond T specialized in heavy-duty commercial trucks, and their pickups were built with that same rugged philosophy. Production numbers were a tiny fraction of what Ford or Chevy sold, making these rare beasts even back in their heyday. But if you saw one parked outside the corner store, you remembered it. That grille alone was unforgettable, looking like a chrome skyscraper on wheels. Truck 6, Willys Jeep truck. After winning World War II, Willys looked at their legendary Jeep and asked, "What if we made it more trucky?" The result was the Willys Jeep truck, produced from 1947 to 1965, and it was wonderfully weird. Take a Jeep, stretch it, add a longer wheelbase, and slap on a pickup bed. Keep that distinctive 7-slot grille and flat fenders, but make the whole thing look like someone pulled a regular Jeep like taffy. That is the Willys truck. These trucks were phenomenal off-road, unsurprising given their heritage, but they looked bizarre on the street. The proportions were just off. Too long to be a Jeep, too Jeepy to be a truck. The cab was cramped, the ride was agricultural, and the styling was about as subtle as a marching band. Still, farmers, ranchers, and rural delivery drivers loved them. They could go absolutely anywhere, haul a respectable load, and were nearly indestructible. Truck 7, Dodge Deora. Now we are entering pure fantasy territory. The 1967 Dodge Deora was not just weird, it was impossible, impractical, and absolutely magnificent. Built by the legendary Alexander brothers on an A100 van chassis, the Deora was a show truck that asked a simple question. What if a pickup truck had no doors, and you entered through the windshield? With its chopped roof, surf-inspired styling, and radical proportions, the Deora looked like it was designed by someone who had never actually seen a real truck, but had heard them described once at a beach party. The bed was completely open, flowing seamlessly with the cab. The stance was low and aggressive. Everything about it screamed 1960s custom culture on steroids. Hot Wheels immortalized the Deora as a die-cast car, and an entire generation of kids grew up pushing these around their bedroom floors, never knowing the original was a one-of-a-kind show vehicle. The original Deora still exists, and remains one of the most famous show vehicles ever built. It was utterly useless as an actual working truck, but absolutely priceless as automotive art. Truck 8. Crosley Farm-O-Road. Leave it to Crosley, the company that made tiny refrigerators and tiny cars, to build a tiny truck that was somehow even weirder than you'd expect. The Crosley Farm-O-Road, produced from 1950 to 1952, was essentially a small tractor that someone strapped truck beds to. Powered by a tiny 26-horsepower engine, this miniature oddity featured interchangeable body configurations. You could swap between different beds and tool setups depending on your needs. The Farm-O-Road had a ground clearance that would make a Jeep jealous, could turn on a dime, and weighed about as much as a modern riding lawnmower. It was perfect for small farms, nurseries, and estates. For everything else, it was comically inadequate. Production numbers were extremely limited, making these extraordinarily rare today. Truck 9. Powell Sport Wagon. In 1955, brothers Hayward and Channing Powell decided that America needed a fiberglass-bodied utility vehicle built in their small factory in California. The automotive establishment said they were crazy. They were probably right. The Powell Sport Wagon looked like someone had described a pickup truck to a modernist sculptor and told them to interpret it however they wanted. The body was all fiberglass, making it rust-proof, but also somewhat flimsy. The design was angular and odd, like origami made of plastic. Power came from various small engines, because the Powells could not afford to develop their own. Only about 300 to 400 sport wagons were ever built from 1955 to 1956, and build quality was inconsistent at best. These were not just rare, they were automotive experiments that proved some ideas sound better in theory than in practice. Truck 10. International Harvester Travelette. Let's close with the truck that invented an entire category, the 1957 International Harvester Travelette, America's first factory-built crew cab pickup. In the mid-1950s, International Harvester looked at the standard pickup truck and asked, "What if we made it possible to carry your whole crew to the job site?" They extended the cab, added rear doors and a back seat, and created something that had never existed before in a production vehicle. The Travelette was massive, practical, and absolutely bizarre-looking to eyes accustomed to regular pickups. If your dad worked construction in the late 1950s or early 1960s, he might remember showing up to job sites in one of these elongated international haulers, sitting in back with 5 other guys, wondering why Ford and Chevy had not figured this out yet. And there you have it. 10 legendary trucks that prove American automotive designers used to take chances, get weird, and build vehicles that made people stop and stare. If this trip down memory lane brought back some nostalgia, hit the like button, leave a comment telling us which truck you remember seeing back in the day, and subscribe for more forgotten automotive treasures. And hey, if your granddad owned any of these weird, wonderful machines, we want to hear those stories in the comments below. Until next time, keep those memories alive.